Tape 3 with Helen Fixler. You were in Hust in the ghetto.
Yes.
And they were going to take you away.
We didn't know. Just when they came, they told us to come. They took us to the train, and they loaded us up, and we went, but we didn't know when, where, and what, nothing. That's all.
What did you take with you?
I didn't have much what to take. We didn't have much what to take. I think a couple dresses were there, and shoes, or I don't think we had food or water. I really don't even remember that.
Who was with you from your immediate family?
My aunt, Pearl, my 2 cousins.
What was their names?
Ruth Godinger and Rita Godinger. And my uncle, the youngest brother, Ben Godinger.
Where was your grandfather?
Yeah, no, my grandfather was with us, Mordechai Godinger.
Describe the train ride.
The day we were put in, everybody stand up and like cattle, just as many and then as soon as it was full, they closed the doors, and it was hot, and it was unbelievable, that screaming and that crying. There were a few small children too.
Do you remember when was this? What year?
That was in 1944. Must have been in May sometime, beginning, or sometime in May. I don't remember dates.
What were the conditions in the car?
And the train, you mean? You can't even describe it. You could not describe it. People making and everything, because we didn't have no toilet or facilities, or they didn't let us out or anything. I think one time they opened the door. I don't know for what. I can't remember. So we got a little bit breathing. People were fainting, and they couldn't fall down. Everybody was grabbing everybody else. But my luck was always, food never mattered much to me. I could go days and not even feel it. I mean, not now, but when I was younger, I was very, very, extremely skinny. Because when we came to Auschwitz, they put me in the children's lager and say 8. Because they didn't take it, I was already then 18, after 18. And
back in the cattle car, how did your grandfather handle the journey?
He was a very strong man. He was 76. That man was 6 foot, like my grandson, 6'3" or 4. He was still walking straight. He didn't use no cane, and he could hear. He has his own teeth. Reading glasses, but he was extremely, extremely strong man. But how he handled it, so many years, it's 57 years. It was since everything started with me. Who could remember? Sometimes I want to try to put faces who I lost. I cannot. And it bothers me sometimes. I really cry. I'm like, how can I forget who loved me so much, who gave me so much happiness, to forget their faces? How could you? But I can't even imagine how they looked. I can't imagine how they looked at all. I don't know, dumb or what happened, I don't know.
How long was this journey?
2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days. How did we know? Who knew the days? So did we know what a day is or a night is? We didn't know what it was.
So where did you go?
Where we go, we came, they told us we are in Auschwitz, but we didn't know where it was. So right away they started separating Mangala, you go here, you go there, but we didn't know. And they right away took us in the buildings, and we had to undress right away. They cut off, they shaved our head and every place, and they gave us that wooden shoes and one striped dress. And they took us to the barracks. And we were starting to talking. There were people, they said, we are a year and I said, a year or 2 years? You must be, how could you live in here a week? It's impossible to live a week there. But do you live? I was there with I found a lot of friends there from Hust, the Kahanet and her sister. We knew each other from home, and Margaret Novak and all of them. So we got one, they call it the bed, it was just 3-story, and on each level, just the boards were there, no pillows or no nothing, just the boards. So and on each row, there were 12 of us there, and sometime at night you hear they just break the top, fall in and killed 1 or 2 or something like that. And but they told us, and I could never figure out, next day they were feeding us, what was it, black coffee and a piece of black bread, and I think that some kind of salami full of blood. I learned to live off my black coffee and the piece of bread. I could never eat nothing. Even now I'm a very spoiled eater, very finicky. I don't know why, but I was always as a child.
How long did you stay?
In Auschwitz I was till November. Almost at the beginning of November we left. I think it was almost empty, the camp. And then the 250 girls, they took us. And then to Zittau.
While you were in Auschwitz, did you do any kind of work?
No. In the beginning, we just going to deliver the food back from the kitchen, bringing the food and the bread. So that was I was with the children, so they didn't make us work.
Which camp?
In Auschwitz and Seelager, Block 8.
And describe a day in Auschwitz.
What is there to describe? There is no words or no describing. And our entertainment was at night, because the Seelager was right across from the crematorium. So we used to stay on the back door there, and we were watching how the smoke, in the beginning you were sick and everything else, and after a while you get used to it. It was natural. Watching how the smoke, because human smoke don't go up, it goes down because it's heavy from this. And one night I remember that screaming remember when they took the gypsies, all in one night, I think about 30,000, and they were screaming. We were right by the crematorium, we could hear them. Tell them, don't go so fast, don't run, we know, because they were there a long time, so they knew already what is going on. We didn't know from nothing, but they knew. That screaming, it was just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. These people were begging and screaming from the trucks. A couple of them jumped and got killed. So
you started to tell us a day in Auschwitz.
A day in Auschwitz, you had to get up early and stay up hell. They were counting you, and it could be rain or the heat or the cold, it didn't matter. It's in the morning 5 hours, between 4 and 5 hours, and in the evening the same thing. And they come and put us in a row of 5, and they counted, see if somebody is missing. That was a daily. And also in the morning when we got up, we looked around. We saw a body there, a body there. People had courage and they touched the electric wires just to be killed. Sometimes I thought, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and every day tomorrow, but I was a coward. I don't know, I must have been a big coward. I didn't have to go home or anything else. I know I don't have nobody anymore. But I don't know, I was such a coward, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. So the food, that's what I say, we got once a day in the morning. Sometimes the black coffee, and that, but not always that piece of bread, piece of black bread, a corner. I don't remember, did we ever had anything else? Or in the afternoon they gave us something. I really don't remember, I really don't. I think they had some kind of soup from grass and things. They never have a meal. We never had a meal. Or just once in a while, we got a treat. We got farina cooked in water.
So how did they serve you this?
Everybody had to have something. A lot of people just had the wooden shoes. You had to organize yourself a can from something or something. They didn't give we didn't have nothing. The majority of people are like now. I sit put the foot on the wooden shoes and everybody had somehow a little can and a little this. But the majority of people some people were really like animals. They were not normal anymore. They were so hungry, so they were grabbing it. Sometimes they turned over the whole foot and nobody gets nothing. They were pushing. Like I say, I was lucky. I could survive on that.
And after you were fed, what did you do the rest of the day?
Nothing. With the children, nothing. There was not much time. In the morning, 4 or 5 hours, and in the evening, in the afternoon, 5 hours staying up hell. So what did you have left? And it was already getting dark early. I mean, they didn't care it was dark. We didn't have no lights. We didn't have no anything. So, you know, you were living like you were not a human being. I mean, like I said, when we came back from Poland the first time, when I came back and I was hiding, I wasn't human. There was first the rape, and then, you know, you lost everything and everybody. You couldn't cry, you couldn't grieve, you couldn't do anything, because you couldn't think. You were just like existing, but not thinking. And it used to bother me so much, even when we came already from Auschwitz. I couldn't grieve, I couldn't cry. Now I'm crying, but I couldn't cry for no money in the world. I couldn't grieve, I couldn't talk or anything. I just don't want nobody to ask me nothing. And it took a long, long time before I started.
Were you close to somebody in Auschwitz?
Yes. I was close to Edith Kahan, I don't know, the Jelenovitzer, you know her, Margaret Novak, Seymour Rapoport, yeah, we were close, there are a few of us. My cousins, my both cousins, we are like sisters with my cousins even now. Every week or day we call each other.
Were there any sanitary facilities? Could you wash up? Could you?
Sanitary, there was one, there was no toilets at all. This I know for sure. And water was something outside, a few of them, so we went there. Whoever ran fast, there was no facilities whatsoever for sanitary thing to do. No toothbrushes, no nothing. No soap, we didn't have anything. So
how did you keep yourself clean?
Like I said, we tried. We were running a little bit of water to get from outside. And like I say, I don't know. so many people, they got the lice and all kind of wounds on there, and even and typhus and everything. I never, thank God, got anything. I was skinny, like I say. I just ate my piece of bread. I divided it and everything. And even after we got freed, people start eating and eating. Not me. I just go slow. I went slowly because food was to me the last thing I needed. And there in Auschwitz, like I say, we went to that water 1 day, yes, and 3 days, no. So you did what you could, but...
What was your identification number?
I didn't have any numbers. None of the children had it. And in the Zeelager, like Kahanet or Margaret Novak, none of us have it. None of the people who went to work, I think they went to work. I think they had the numbers, the most of them, and all the leaders, they could run away or something. But we didn't. Nobody in our block had it.
So how did you leave Auschwitz?
They took us from Auschwitz. They were closing up already almost. They took us to Zittau, to a factory, plane factory, and we were working there.
Do you remember when they took you?
I think it must have been at the beginning of November in 44. The beginning of November, yes. So we were there till May 5th, because the Russians occupied it, and we just got up one morning and no SS anymore. We worked at the factory with the Wehrmacht, but how do you say it, the one who was watching the assessments, the Lagerführer and everybody was assessments. Just the Wehrmacht was working with us in the factory.
What kind of work did you do?
They brought in the whole engine from the plane, and we were supposed to need screw to make a little hole and onto the other, and then take the wire and fasten them both together. They shouldn't accidentally unscrew itself. This is the work we did there.
Were there any civilians working with you?
No. Just the Wehrmacht. Just us was working.
Any other prisoners?
Yes, we were at 250 girls. And then I think a week later they brought some men too, and we were working there together.
Who were these men?
Also from Auschwitz they brought them, Jewish guys also. I get together with a couple of them here yet.
Was there a chance for you to get together with these men?
No way. At work we used to talk sometime, but they watched you. You didn't take chances. You don't want to be beaten up or shot. No, we didn't. We knew that they there, but...
Did you know what nationality they were?
They were all Jewish, this I know for sure.
From where?
Some from Poland, some from Hungary, some from Czechoslovakia, and from all over.
And in your group?
Pardon me?
In your group, where were they from?
Women? Also, also the same thing. Munkachi and Polish ones, and what else would we have? From all over. You know, they didn't put you together with who you want to go. They just come, you go here, you go there, and you go. But you know, you were working on one factory, on one floor, all of us. So and the men were working on another floor.
And how were the conditions in this camp in Zittau?
Comparing to Auschwitz, it was much better. I think because, I think because the Wehrmacht was there, and I think a lot of Czech people were living around there. So, but the same thing, 12 hours working and then stay uphill. Not so many hours like in Auschwitz. And I think the food was, at least they give us some soups twice a day. And also a piece of bread. But the Wehrmacht was not bad at all to us. But they were afraid also. At least they didn't beat us or anything. You had to work, but and they knew already it's coming to the end. So, but when we got up one morning, no SS, nobody, and everything is open go.
Do you remember when this was?
That was May 5th. May 4th or 5th. Because we started, they'd seen me Rappaport from Hust. Her cousin married before the war yet, the Prime Minister from Czechoslovakia, Croft. And when we came out from Zittau, we knew we are not far from Liberec, which I don't know how far it was. So there was a lot of Germans, we took their bicycles, and we went into Prague. And they were still fighting at the corner side, must have been. But when we came there the next day, my friend Simi said, let's go and see, or my cousin came back with her husband and 2 children. Maybe they could put us up someplace. But she didn't know that he sent his wife to America, and he and the 2 children were in England. So we came to the palace there, and he recognized her right away, the Prime Minister Croft with the children. He came, I think, the 6th or the 7th of May it was already. And he knew what had happened, and we talked there and everything. They fed us, and he put us up in an apartment in Prague till the Red Cross, or I don't know who it was, who started taking the joint. They used to call it, I think, American people and the Jewish organizations from England, when they start taking care of us already then.
Do you remember the day of liberation? Describe what happened that day.
That day it happened, like I said, we got up in the morning, going to work like every other day, and all of a sudden everybody, the men were jumping at this and screaming, we are free, we are free, we are free. And everybody was running to the city, because we were out of the city, to get food, whatever they found, mustard. And my friend Simi Rappaport, we have to laugh, she found a chicken, she always, even Auschwitz, she used to eat, she said, I'm going to eat because I want to live. I couldn't look at when that soup was so smelly. And whatever she found, she ate, and she made everything. But we weren't, and then we came to Prague, the 6th or the 7th, so one of these days. She wrote a book of somebody told me they're going to give it to me with her 2 daughters. Her husband died, Dr. Solomon. And she is still in Ohio, but we lost touch so many years. So that's all I remember from the date. Who remembers the dates?
Who liberated you?
The Russian.
Did you know that then?
No. We didn't know nothing that the Americans.
So what year was this when you were liberated in Sita?
May of 1945.
And what was the first thing you did when you found out you were free?
We tried to, we left that right a day or two later. Like I said, we found some bicycles and we came into Liberec. And then Liberec already with the checks, you know, they gave us, they fed us. We told them already that they knew who we were already. And we were there a day or two, and then we went to Prague. So and there I stayed like with the girls till the rest of the people came. My cousins came already. And we were always waiting by the train, see who was coming from where. So I found my two cousins, and my two cousins came with a Czech army from Russia. So they were much older than we are, so they took care on us already, because they were in the army, they got an apartment, and I never went back home at all. I never went back.
So where did you settle finally?
In Prague. I got married there in Prague. And I was working on the officers' quarters for the Czech army, and I was working for an elderly man. I couldn't find the picture, general. He came back from Russia with a wife with his two daughters. They were both movie stars, Herečky. He was already in the 70s. He was like a father to me.
Do you remember his name?
No, I don't. But I have to look for the picture. I know I brought the picture because we got married there. He was my interferer. Would you believe it? How would you describe it in English, an interferer? But when I got engaged to my husband, he begged me. He said, Helenka, that you didn't live nothing yet. You didn't know what life is. You're so young. Where you going? What you doing? So we settled in Prague. We were very good friends. And they were living here. I well in the country. We were always invited there. When I got married on November 20th, no, I got married November the 20th.
How did you meet your husband?
In Prague, we got together always, they're looking for people. Everybody was going to look, and maybe you find somebody who you know. What I know, I couldn't find nobody in my family because they were young, very young kids. But you always went to the trainer, you went here and you went between people and see maybe you find somebody close yet again. And that's what I went in one time where he was, and that's how we met.
Where was he from?
Maidan, Czechoslovakia. But the general, he begged me, he said, stay with us, and whatever happened, we take care of you and everything. So when I got married, he and his wife are interferers. And then in May, on 46 years, was supposed to be in Czechoslovakia, the votes, and he was afraid that the communist is going to win. And he was in Russia, so he saw the communist life. So he called me and my husband. He said, you know what, kids, you have a chance. Leave. Go to Germany, go any place, but don't stay here till you know for sure what it's going to be.
We have to stop again.